In a world that never stops buzzing with notifications, endless to-do lists, and constant distractions, how often do you feel like your attention is being pulled in 1,000 directions at once? What if the key to regaining control over your focus and your life wasn't about doing more, but about thinking differently? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. These words, written centuries ago, hold a timeless truth. The ability to master your attention begins with mastering your mind. Today, we're diving into 18 powerful Stoic insights that can help you reclaim your focus, cut through the noise, and live with intention. These principles aren't just philosophical musings, they're practical tools designed to help you navigate the chaos of modern life. From understanding the nature of distractions to cultivating mental clarity, each insight offers a step-by-step guide to strengthening your attention and aligning your actions with what truly matters. Whether you're struggling to stay present at work, feeling overwhelmed by the demands of daily life, or simply seeking a deeper sense of purpose, these Stoic teachings have something profound to offer. So, if you're ready to take control of your attention and unlock a more focused, intentional way of living, let's begin this journey together. The path to mastering your mind starts here. The present moment is all we truly control. Think about it. No matter how much we dwell on the past or fret about the future, neither can be changed or guaranteed. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, put it plainly: "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." And that response begins with where we place our attention, right here, right now. Seneca, another towering figure in Stoicism, once wrote, "Life is long if you know how to use it." But here's the catch: life isn't measured in years or days, but in moments. When we're constantly distracted, lost in regrets about yesterday or anxieties about tomorrow, we miss the richness of today. The Stoics believed that the present moment is the only space where we can truly act, think, and live. Everything else is either a memory or a possibility, neither of which we can control. This idea might sound familiar if you've ever explored mindfulness practices. Mindfulness, much like Stoicism, teaches us to anchor ourselves in the here and now. It's about noticing the sensations of your breath, the sounds around you, or the thoughts passing through your mind without judgment. In a way, mindfulness is the modern echo of Stoic wisdom, a reminder that the present is where life happens. So, here's a question to consider. How often do you let your mind wander from the present? Do you catch yourself replaying old conversations or worrying about what's next on your to-do list? The Stoics would argue that every moment spent outside the present is a moment lost. But the good news is you can always bring your focus back. It starts with a simple choice to notice where your attention is and gently guide it to what's in front of you. This isn't just about being more productive or less stressed. It's about reclaiming your life one moment at a time, because when you truly inhabit the present, you're not just living, you're thriving. And that's where the power of Stoic thinking begins. How often do you let external events dictate your mood? A rude comment from a coworker, a delayed flight, or even bad weather? These things can easily throw us off balance. But what if you could face these situations without losing your peace of mind? The Stoics believed that external events are, by nature, indifferent. They don't have the power to disturb us unless we give them that power. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's most influential teachers, put it this way: "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In other words, while we can't control the world around us, we can always control how we respond. This is the essence of cognitive detachment, a practice that helps us separate our emotions from the chaos of external circumstances. Take Marcus Aurelius, for example. As a Roman emperor, he faced constant challenges, wars, political intrigue, even personal loss. Yet he remained steadfast in his composure. During one of his military campaigns, he wrote in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. Instead of being consumed by the stress of war, he focused on what he could control: his thoughts, his actions, and his attitude. This doesn't mean ignoring reality or suppressing emotions. It's about recognizing that external events are fleeting and often beyond our influence. By shifting our focus inward, we can choose how to engage with the world rather than being swept away by it. So here's a challenge for you. Think about one external event that often triggers an overreaction in your life. Is it a traffic jam, a critical comment, or maybe a missed deadline? Now imagine approaching that situation with a Stoic mindset. What would it feel like to acknowledge the event without letting it dictate your emotions? This practice isn't about becoming indifferent to life, it's about reclaiming your power. When you detach your emotions from external chaos, you create space for clarity, resilience, and intentional action. And that's where true freedom begins. Desire is the root of much suffering. Think about it. How often do we chase after things we can't control, only to feel frustrated, anxious, or even empty when they slip through our fingers? The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed that our desires, when left unchecked, can lead us astray, pulling us away from inner peace and into a cycle of dissatisfaction. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, put it bluntly: "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." At its core, Stoicism teaches us to align our desires with what is within our control. This doesn't mean giving up on ambition or living a life of deprivation. Instead, it's about tempering our desires, focusing on what truly matters, and letting go of what we can't influence. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, warned of the dangers of unchecked ambition. When you are discontented, you always have the power to end it, not by changing your circumstances, but by changing your desires. Consider the modern pursuit of material wealth. Many of us chase after bigger houses, faster cars, or the latest gadgets, believing they'll bring us happiness. But how often does that happiness last? The Stoics would argue that true contentment comes not from accumulating more, but from appreciating what we already have. It's about shifting our focus from external possessions to internal virtues, things like wisdom, courage, and self-discipline. Here's a practical way to apply this insight. Take a moment to reflect on what you truly desire. Is it something within your control, like cultivating a skill or deepening a relationship? Or is it something external, like a promotion or recognition from others? If it's the latter, ask yourself, does this desire align with your values? And if you achieved it, would it bring lasting fulfillment or just a temporary high? The discipline of desire isn't about suppressing what you want, it's about refining it. It's about choosing to desire what enriches your life rather than what depletes it. When you align your desires with what's within your control, you free yourself from the endless chase and find peace in the present. So, what do you truly desire? And is it something that brings you closer to the person you want to be? These are the questions the Stoics would ask, and the answers might just change the way you live. What deserves your attention today? In a world overflowing with distractions, endless emails, social media notifications, and the constant hum of busyness, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. The Stoics had a solution to this problem long before smartphones and 24-hour news cycles: the art of selective attention. This isn't just about ignoring distractions, it's about actively choosing where to direct your focus, aligning it with what's meaningful and within your control. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's most practical thinkers, put it simply: some things are within our power while others are not. Within our power are opinion, motivation, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever is of our own doing. In other words, we can't control everything that happens around us, but we can control where we place our attention. The Stoics believed that by focusing on virtue qualities like wisdom, courage, and justice, we could rise above the noise and live with purpose. Imagine this: you're at work juggling multiple tasks and suddenly a colleague sends you a message that throws you off track. Instead of reacting impulsively or letting it derail your focus, you pause. You ask yourself, is this worth my attention right now? Does it align with my goals or values? If the answer is no, you let it go and return to what truly matters. This is the essence of selective attention, a deliberate choice to prioritize what's important over what's merely urgent. For modern professionals, this principle can be a game changer. Think about your to-do list. How many of those tasks are truly essential, and how many are just busy work? The Stoics would encourage you to focus on the tasks that align with your long-term goals and values, rather than getting caught up in the minutiae. For example, instead of spending hours perfecting a presentation that's already good enough, you might choose to invest that time in building a meaningful relationship with a client or colleague. So here's a challenge for you. Take a moment to list 3 things you often waste time on. Maybe it's scrolling through social media, overthinking decisions, or getting caught up in office gossip. Now ask yourself, how can you refocus that time and energy on what truly matters? What would it look like to align your attention with your values and goals? The art of selective attention isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about making small, intentional choices that add up to a more focused and fulfilling life. And as the Stoics remind us, when we focus on what's within our control, we not only reclaim our attention but also our peace of mind. So, what deserves your attention today? The answer might just change the way you live. Everything we hold dear is fleeting. The people we love, the possessions we cherish, even the moments we wish could last forever, they're all temporary. This might sound unsettling at first, but the Stoics saw it as a profound truth to embrace, not fear. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, often reminded himself of this reality. In his journal, he wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." It's a stark reminder that life is short and every moment is precious. The Stoics believed that accepting impermanence is key to living a grounded and meaningful life. Seneca, another pillar of Stoic philosophy, put it this way: all things human are short-lived and perishable. He wasn't trying to be pessimistic, he was pointing out a simple fact: change is inevitable, and when we resist that truth, we create unnecessary suffering. Think about it. How much of your anxiety comes from trying to hold onto things that are bound to change? Whether it's a job, a relationship, or even your own health, clinging to what's temporary only leads to frustration and fear. But here's the flip side. When we embrace impermanence, we free ourselves from that fear. Instead of worrying about what might be lost, we can focus on appreciating what we have right now. Take modern life, for example. Many of us stress about the future. What if I lose my job? What if my relationship ends? What if I don't achieve my goals? These fears can consume our attention, pulling us away from the present moment. But what if, instead of fearing change, we accepted it as a natural part of life? Imagine this: you're sitting in traffic, running late for an important meeting. Instead of letting frustration take over, you remind